Welcome to Zoe Stories. My science project went wrong. Now I'm a girl. I had always been a quiet kid, the type who kept to himself in the back row of the classroom, books stacked around me like a protective wall. Science was my escape, my world where formulas and reactions made sense, where I could control outcomes. But I had never imagined that one experiment, one seemingly harmless project, would turn my entire life upside down. It all began with my final year science project. I wanted to create something unique, something that would impress my teacher and maybe even earn a spot in the regional competition. The idea was simple: a chemical compound that could temporarily alter physical characteristics, a harmless cosmetic effect, or so I thought. I worked late nights in the lab, meticulously mixing solutions, carefully noting reactions, and adjusting concentrations. Then she appeared. Emily, my lab partner, friend since high school, and someone who had always carried a quiet dominance over me I never fully understood. Emily had sharp eyes, a confident presence, and a mischievous streak that made me uneasy. She always seemed to know how to push me, challenge me, and I now realized, manipulate me. "Are you sure this mixture is stable?" she asked one evening, leaning close over the lab table, her voice soft but authoritative. I nodded, hands trembling slightly. "Absolutely. I triple-checked everything." She smiled, a smile that made my stomach twist. "Good. Because I think it's time we test it on something more interesting." Before I could respond, she grabbed a small vial of the compound. "Don't worry, it's harmless. I think," she teased, her eyes glinting. She leaned in closer, and the next thing I knew, she had doused my hands in the mixture. The chemical burned slightly, a tingling sensation spreading up my arms. I tried to shake it off, but she laughed softly, her fingers brushing mine as she steadied the vial. "Relax," she whispered. "You're going to love this." I didn't. The first change was subtle, a warmth spreading through my body, a tingling that seemed to reach every nerve ending. My chest tightened unnaturally, my hands softened, and a strange lightness took over my frame. I looked down, panic rising. My arms were thinner, more delicate. My legs felt strange, reshaped, like someone had erased the muscle definition I had taken years to build. Emily's laugh filled the lab. "See? Isn't it amazing? You're becoming her." "Her? What do you mean?" I stammered, my voice higher than I expected. Panic surged as my reflection in the lab's glass window startled me. The boy staring back me was changing. My face softened, cheeks subtly fuller, lips plumper, eyes larger, more luminous. My hair, normally short and unremarkable, had lengthened slightly, falling around my face in soft, silky waves. I tried to pull back, to run, but Emily's hand pressed gently on my shoulder, stopping me. "Shoo, it's okay," she cooed, her tone almost motherly, almost cruel. "You can fight it, but why would you? Look at you. You're beautiful." The words hit harder than the chemical itself. Beautiful. I had never thought of myself that way. Not even a hint. And yet, staring at the reflection, I felt a strange, terrifying thrill at the transformation taking over me. I can't," I whispered, panic and disbelief mingling. My voice was soft, melodic, undeniably feminine. Emily smiled, a mix of sweetness and dominance in her expression. "Yes, you can. You must. Think of it as discipline. You wanted to impress, to succeed, to stand out. This is your chance. Embrace it, and I'll guide you. Resist, and, well, it'll happen anyway." The rest of the night passed in a blur. She guided me through the initial changes, helping me adjust my posture as my hips subtly widened, teaching me to hold my hands delicately, even guiding the first tentative steps in high heels she somehow produced from her bag. Each movement, each adjustment, felt alien yet intoxicating. My old body, my old self, Michael, felt distant, powerless. By the time I looked in the mirror again, the boy I had been was almost gone. Instead, a delicate, feminine figure stared back at me, wide-eyed, vulnerable, undeniably beautiful. And the worst, or perhaps most thrilling, part was that I could feel her emerging in me, wanting to be seen, wanting to exist fully. Emily's hand on my shoulder grounded me, or dominated me. I wasn't sure which. "Welcome," she whispered, "to your new life." And as terrifying as it was, I couldn't deny it. I was ready, or perhaps forced, to become her. The next morning, I woke in a mixture of panic and awe. The chemicals' effects had settled overnight, leaving me with a body that was undeniably feminine. My hips curved subtly, my chest was soft but shapely, and my face reflected delicate features I didn't recognize as my own. The panic came in waves. Every movement, every breath reminded me that Michael, the boy I had been, was fading. Emily entered my room with her usual calm confidence. "Good morning, beautiful," she said, her voice both teasing and commanding. The words made my stomach twist. I wanted to hide, to deny it, to scream, but a strange thrill accompanied the shame. "Today we start your training," she continued. "You can't hide from this. You need to learn to move, speak, and behave as her. Discipline isn't punishment, it's preparation." I swallowed hard, nodding silently. My voice came out higher than I expected. Okay. She guided me to a small vanity she had set up in the corner of my room. The table was adorned with brushes, makeup palettes, and neatly folded lingerie and dresses. My heart raced. The sight of all this, items I had never considered, let alone worn, made a cocktail of fear, embarrassment, and undeniable curiosity well up inside me. "First," she said, "we start with the basics, makeup. Contouring, blush, lip color. You need to learn how to present her face beautifully." Hands trembling, I picked up a brush. Emily guided my movements, correcting my grip, my strokes, and the pressure applied. Every correction was precise, sometimes gentle, sometimes sharp, but always controlled. "Your cheekbones need to appear softer, more delicate," she instructed. "Eyes more open, lips more inviting. Look at the mirror. See the girl you are becoming." I did, and the reflection made me shiver. Michael's familiar features were almost entirely gone, replaced by someone soft, elegant, and undeniably feminine. My lips tingled as I applied the lipstick Emily chose, soft pink, natural but enhancing. I felt a thrill as she whispered, "Perfect. Beautiful." Next came clothing. Emily handed me a delicate camisole and matching skirt. The fabrics were soft, silky, and unfamiliar against my skin. Every tug and adjustment emphasized the new curves of my body. My legs felt strange, lighter, and oddly graceful. "Stand up straight," she ordered, adjusting my shoulders. "Now walk. Slowly. Deliberately." Her movements are fluid, refined, captivating. You need to feel her in every step. The first few steps were awkward. My body resisted, muscles untrained in such delicate motion. Emily laughed softly, correcting my posture, tilting my hips, adjusting the swing of my arms. Each correction embarrassed me, yet deep down, I felt a strange, addictive pride at moving correctly, at seeing the reflection in the mirror. "Good," she said, finally smiling. "Now, your voice. Speak softly, melodically, with subtle inflections." Her voice is gentle, inviting, unmistakably feminine. I tried, my words trembling, my tone faltering. She corrected gently but firmly, repeating phrases until my voice matched the delicate, musical cadence she wanted. Every correction, every instruction, chipped away at Michael's confidence, replacing it with her presence. By the end of the lesson, I was exhausted, both physically and emotionally. My muscles ached from the strange new posture, my mind reeled from the identity shift, and my chest swelled with conflicting emotions, embarrassment, shame, pride, and an unfamiliar thrill. Emily smiled, watching me struggle, delighting in my vulnerability. "You're learning quickly," she said softly, brushing a strand of hair behind my ear. "Every step, every movement, every adjustment makes her more real. Michael is fading, and she is becoming you." I stared at the mirror long after she left. The girl staring back was undeniably beautiful, delicate, and entirely new. And with each passing moment, I realized something terrifying and exhilarating. I didn't know if I wanted to go back to Michael. She was alive, and she was mine to explore or surrender to completely. The morning sunlight spilled into my room, highlighting every curve, every contour, every detail of her, the girl Emily had meticulously molded me into. My reflection in the mirror was flawless in ways I had never imagined. Soft, delicate, undeniably feminine. My chest rose with shallow breaths, my stomach knotted with anticipation and fear. Emily entered quietly, holding a small tote bag filled with accessories and shoes. "Today," she said softly, her tone commanding yet gentle, "you will meet the world. Your first public outing." Panic surged instantly. Public? Outside? Being seen? Every nerve screamed for escape. I can't," I whispered, voice trembling. Emily's eyes softened, but her authority was undeniable. "Yes, you can. And you will. Every glance, every whisper, every smile from strangers will teach you. Discipline is not learned in private, it's forged in exposure." I hesitated, heart hammering. But the thrill beneath the fear tugged at me, an unfamiliar, forbidden excitement. I nodded shakily. The outing was to a small, crowded cafe near the university, a place where students, professors, and locals mingled. Emily guided me to the car, holding my hand, her touch both comforting and controlling. Every step in heels was a challenge. My legs wobbled, my posture felt unnatural, yet Emily's constant guidance, her hand on my back, her soft corrections, kept me steady. When we entered the cafe, time seemed to slow. People glanced, whispers floated through the air. Some eyes lingered, admiring, some curious, some shocked. My heart raced, my cheeks burned with embarrassment. Every movement felt exposed, every breath a performance. Emily whispered, "Walk confidently. Smile softly. Speak when needed. She is you now, own it." I tried. My steps became slightly more confident, my voice a delicate melody as I ordered coffee. Compliments were tossed casually my way, and I felt an unfamiliar thrill. People's eyes lingered, not on Michael, not on the boy I had been, but on her. On the girl I was becoming. A group of students nearby whispered among themselves, glancing in my direction. "Wow, she's beautiful," one said softly. I froze, my chest tightening, heart racing. The words hit me like fire and ice. Pride mixed with humiliation. I had never been called beautiful, never even imagined it. Yet now, being admired like this, even by strangers, sent a rush of forbidden exhilaration through me. Emily smiled, observing my reaction. "See? This is the power of her. Every glance, every comment, every subtle attention strengthens her and weakens Michael's hold." A young man approached, offering a smile and polite greeting. My voice wavered, soft and melodic, as I responded. I felt the thrill of attention again, embarrassment curling into fascination, shame intertwining with pride. By the time we left the cafe, I was trembling, emotionally raw, physically exhausted, and mentally overwhelmed. My mind replayed every glance, every word, every whispered compliment. Emily's hand remained firm on my shoulder. "Good," she said softly. "You faced the world, endured exposure, and learned. Every moment like this brings her further into your reality." Walking back, I realized something terrifying. I didn't want to leave the thrill behind. Each glance, each compliment, each moment of attention made me question my identity. Michael's voice was faint now, almost a memory, while hers, the girl Emily had shaped, was vibrant, alive, and increasingly dominant. That night, staring at my reflection once again, I touched her face softly. My chest ached with longing and confusion. I realized with a jolt that public exposure, humiliation, and admiration were shaping me far more than any chemical or lesson ever could. And as unsettling as it was, a small, forbidden part of me wanted more. The next morning, sunlight poured through my bedroom window, illuminating the delicate curves and soft lines of her, the girl Emily had painstakingly sculpted for me. My reflection in the mirror seemed to mock and mesmerize me at the same time. Michael's face felt distant, almost like a memory from another life, while her soft, feminine features were undeniable, intoxicating, and terrifying. Emily entered quietly, her presence commanding the room even without a word. She held a carefully folded set of lingerie and a selection of dresses, each piece more delicate and feminine than the last. My chest tightened, a mix of embarrassment and anticipation rippling through me. "Today we take it further," she said softly, her tone both gentle and firm. "You've faced the world once, but discipline is built in private as well. You will learn to wear her completely, move like her, and feel every curve, every sway, every gesture as if it were natural." I swallowed hard, nodding, though my body trembled. The idea of lingerie, of deliberately feminine clothing, made my face flush. Every instinct screamed to resist, to flee, but the thrill, the forbidden allure, tugged at me relentlessly. "First," Emily continued, "we start with underwear. It's the foundation. It shapes her body, gives her elegance, and teaches you control. You will wear it properly, appreciate it, and carry it with grace." I hesitated as she handed me a silky bra and matching panties. My hands shook, unsure, but Emily guided me patiently yet firmly, instructing me on how to position the straps, smooth the fabric, and adjust it so it fit her form perfectly. Every correction, every gentle tug, reinforced her presence, reminding me that Michael was no longer in control. "Good," Emily said softly, smiling. "Now stand, walk, and move naturally. Feel her hips, the sway, the posture. Every step, every movement is discipline." The first attempts were awkward. My legs wobbled, my posture felt foreign, and my chest ached from the subtle weight of the new curves. Emily laughed softly but didn't ridicule me. Her corrections were precise, guiding my shoulders, tilting my hips, and adjusting my gait. With each movement, I felt a strange, addictive thrill mingled with humiliation. The girl in the mirror was becoming alive, and I could feel her emerging more with every step. Next came dresses, soft fabrics that hugged my curves, skirts that emphasized every line, and blouses that framed the delicate shape of my shoulders. Emily helped me select a pale pink dress, soft and flowing, with subtle lace trimming. Sliding it over my shoulders, I felt a rush of vulnerability and excitement. My reflection changed once again. She was undeniable now, delicate, alluring, and fragile yet captivating. "Now," Emily whispered, brushing a strand of hair behind my ear, "we practice makeup for public presentation. Your eyes must be expressive, your lips soft yet inviting. You must learn to use beauty as power, control through elegance and allure." I applied the makeup under her watchful eye, trembling at every brushstroke. Blush, highlighter, eyeshadow, mascara, and lipstick, each layer sculpted her more fully into existence. She corrected my movements, my angles, and my posture with gentle yet firm authority. Every glance at the mirror intensified the internal conflict. Michael's presence was dim, overshadowed by the feminine allure staring back at me. After hours of instruction, Emily guided me to practice walking in heels within the privacy of my room. My legs ached, my balance faltered, but each step was deliberate, each movement precise. The mirror reflected her fully now, a delicate, elegant girl moving with growing confidence, captivating even in her own private space. "See her?" Emily whispered, standing behind me. "Every step, every glance, every gesture makes her real. Michael fades with every correction, every lesson. She is your future. She is beauty. She is power. And you must own her completely." I sank to the floor afterward, exhausted, emotionally drained, and trembling from the intensity of the day. Tears blurred my vision as I realized how far I had already changed. My chest tightened with shame and pride, humiliation and thrill, and a strange, addictive curiosity. Every lesson, every correction, every deliberate movement was shaping me, shaping her, into someone undeniable. Emily knelt beside me, placing her hand lightly on my cheek. "You are learning," she said softly, her eyes gleaming. "Every moment like this, every exposure, every step in public or private, makes her more alive. You are almost ready for the next phase: public attention, admiration, and complete acceptance of her presence." I looked at the mirror once more, trembling. The girl staring back at me was beautiful, soft, and undeniably feminine. Michael felt like a shadow, fading further with every lesson. And though fear and shame still burned in my chest, a small, forbidden thrill whispered that I might not want to go back. She was alive. She was mine to explore. She was becoming me. The morning was crisp, the sun casting a warm glow over the streets as Emily guided me to the car. My body was dressed meticulously, a soft pastel dress that hugged my curves, a matching cardigan, delicate flats that made every step precise, and makeup that highlighted her, my delicate features. Every glance in the mirror before leaving had reminded me how far I had changed. "I want you to notice everything," Emily whispered, her hand briefly touching my back as we walked. "Every glance, every whisper, every subtle attention. Today you are her fully. Michael doesn't exist out here." Panic gnawed at me, but a part of me, terrified and curious, thrilled at the idea. My reflection in shop windows, passing cars, and mirrors along the street teased me with glimpses of her: soft cheeks, wide eyes, gentle curves, and an unfamiliar elegance. The cafe we entered was busy, filled with students, professionals, and locals. Every head turned. Some whispered, others smiled politely, and a few openly admired me. My chest fluttered, cheeks burning with a mix of shame, embarrassment, and an undeniable thrill. Emily guided me to a table, gently adjusting my posture and correcting the tilt of my shoulders. "Speak softly, move delicately," she instructed, her eyes gleaming. "You are her now. Every step, every word, every breath belongs to her." A young man at a nearby table caught my gaze. He smiled politely, and I responded instinctively, my voice soft and melodic. Every word felt foreign, yet exhilarating. His attention sent shivers through me, thrills I had never experienced as Michael, but they belonged to her. "Look at them," Emily murmured, almost to herself. "Admiring her, and she is thriving under observation. Do you feel it?" I nodded, cheeks flushed. Shame mingled with excitement, humiliation with fascination. Every compliment, every gaze, made Michael fade further into the background. Every step, every delicate gesture, solidified her presence, alive, captivating, undeniable. A group of students whispered, eyes lingering. "She's gorgeous," one said softly. I froze, heart racing. That word, gorgeous, echoed in my mind, a mix of pride, confusion, and longing. I had never been called beautiful, never experienced this kind of attention. The thrill was intoxicating. Emily's hand rested lightly on my shoulder. "Do you see it? She is real. She is powerful. And you are learning to let her exist fully." By the time we left, I was physically exhausted, emotionally raw, and mentally overwhelmed. My legs ached from walking carefully, my heart raced from every glance and comment, and my mind replayed every moment of exposure. But beneath the panic, beneath the shame, a forbidden thrill lingered. For the first time, I understood what Emily meant. Public exposure was a weapon, a lesson, and a thrill. She, my feminine self, was alive, thriving under observation, and irresistibly compelling. Michael's voice was distant, almost a whisper, overshadowed by her undeniable presence. That night, back in my room, I stared at the mirror long after Emily left. The girl staring back was fully alive, soft, delicate, captivating. My chest ached with longing, shame, pride, and confusion. And though part of me feared the transformation, another part, terrifying, exhilarating, whispered that I didn't want it to end. She was alive. She was beautiful. And every glance, every step, Every whispered compliment in public reminded me that she was becoming me, and Michael was slipping further away. The days that followed were a relentless immersion into her world. Every morning, Emily arrived at my room like clockwork, her presence commanding yet gentle, her gaze sharp enough to pierce through every layer of my resistance. Today, she said, we polish her completely. Walking, speaking, existing as her in public. Every mistake corrected. Every step perfect. You will leave Michael behind. The first exercise began in my bedroom. Emily set up a full-length mirror, heels of varying heights, and a selection of dresses. My heart pounded as I slipped into a soft lavender dress, feeling the unfamiliar sway of fabric across my hips. She handed me a pair of dainty heels. My legs trembled as I attempted to walk, my body wobbling in unfamiliar curves. Relax your shoulders, tilt your hips slightly, soften your steps, she instructed, adjusting my posture with hands that felt simultaneously comforting and controlling. Each correction burned with humiliation, yet stirred an unexplainable thrill. I realized I was learning to inhabit her body, to feel every curve, every sway, every delicate motion. Michael's confidence shrank with every step. Emily's next lesson was voice. She had me recite simple phrases, read poetry, and even hold conversations with her while maintaining a soft, melodic cadence. Each misstep, my voice too low, my inflection too harsh, was met with gentle but firm correction. Her voice is soft, inviting, unmistakably feminine. You must live her in every word you speak, Emily whispered, her fingers brushing my jawline to tilt my chin just right. By midweek, Emily had forced me to face a small circle of strangers at a nearby park. The sunlight hit me in ways I had never noticed, my hair falling in soft waves, my dress catching the breeze, my voice carrying with new, delicate intonations. People's eyes followed me, smiles lingering, some admiring, some curious. Each glance, each whisper, each subtle attention carved her deeper into my being and eroded Michael further. A young man approached, his gaze fixed on me. "Excuse me," he said softly. Wow. You're really beautiful." The word struck me like a shockwave. I froze, heat rushing to my cheeks, my pulse accelerating. Pride, shame, and a forbidden thrill tangled together. Michael would have blushed, maybe laughed it off nervously, but she, the girl in the mirror, felt alive, recognized, and powerful. Emily's soft whisper in my ear reminded me, "See? She exists in the eyes of the world now." Every glance strengthens her, diminishes him. Even in private, Emily pushed further. She had me practice eating delicately in front of her, gesturing softly while holding my cup of tea, correcting the tilt of my fingers, the poise of my shoulders, the subtle movement of my gaze. Every mundane act became a lesson, a reinforcement, a discipline. Michael's casual male privileges, slouching, roughness, indifference, were stripped away. Her presence demanded attention, elegance, and a delicate precision that left Michael gasping for dominance that no longer existed. One afternoon, she introduced me to another layer of control, public shopping. A small boutique filled with soft lights, mirrors, and mannequins in delicate dresses became my stage. Emily guided me slowly through aisles, adjusting my posture, whispering corrections, forcing me to walk past other customers, observe their glances, and respond with poise. A boy my age recognized me faintly from class, his eyes widening in recognition before I masked my expression with a polite, melodic smile. Every public interaction chipped away at Michael, leaving her fully alive, elegant, and captivating, standing in his place. The mirror in the boutique's fitting room reflected the final lesson of the day. I stared at her, soft curves, delicate fingers, wide eyes, perfectly poised in the flowing dress Emily had chosen. Michael's reflection lingered faintly, a shadow in the corner, but she, alive, beautiful, captivating, dominated the frame. I felt a strange, intoxicating thrill as Emily's hand rested lightly on my shoulder. "You are almost complete," she whispered. Every glance, every word, every gesture makes her more real. Michael fades further with each lesson. She is beauty, she is power, she is discipline. And soon, the world will see her fully. That night, alone in my room, I sank to the floor, trembling. My body ached from constant correction. My mind reeled from the relentless exposure and training, but the mirror reflected a truth I could no longer deny. She was alive, delicate, elegant, and undeniably feminine. Michael's voice was now just a faint echo, distant and powerless. For the first time, I realized the terrifying reality. This transformation was no longer temporary. Every lesson, every public exposure, every glance and compliment had reshaped me irreversibly. The girl Emily had created wasn't just a mask. I could feel her in my bones, my heartbeat, and my breath. And a small, forbidden part of me didn't want Michael back. By the 7th day of Emily's relentless guidance, I was emotionally raw. My reflection no longer carried traces of Michael beyond a faint shadow in my eyes. Her presence, soft, delicate, undeniably feminine, dominated every inch of my being. Every lesson, every correction, every public outing had chipped away at my old self, leaving me exposed, vulnerable, and trembling. Emily entered my room that morning with a clipboard in hand, her gaze sharp yet almost tender. "Today, we push further," she said. "Discipline is not just about walking, talking, or being seen, it's about surrendering fully. You must embrace her in thought, in spirit, and in submission." My heart pounded. The word surrender echoed in my mind, terrifying and exhilarating at once. I wanted to resist, to cling to Michael, to escape the soft curves, the delicate voice, the feminine allure, but a deeper, forbidden part of me whispered, "You don't want to." The day began with makeup lessons in front of the mirror. Emily corrected my eyeliner, blush, and lipstick with painstaking precision. Each touch of her fingers against my skin felt intimate, exposing vulnerabilities I had never confronted. My hands shook, my chest ached, and my voice trembled as I whispered, I'm trying." "You are," she said softly, but her eyes gleamed with quiet control. "And that's why this hurts. Every correction, every adjustment, strips Michael away, leaving her fully alive. Do you feel it?" I nodded, though my chest burned with shame and exhilaration. Next came dressing, lingerie, and a delicate lace dress. Emily guided every movement, smoothing fabric over hips, adjusting the tilt of my shoulders, ensuring every step and gesture emphasized elegance and femininity. I stumbled at first, wobbled, and nearly fell in heels, but Emily's hand steadied me, her touch both comforting and controlling. "Good," she whispered. "You are learning to inhabit her. But inhabiting is only part of it. Feeling her, embracing her, that is discipline." It was then, in front of the mirror, that the first real emotional breakdown came. I sank to my knees, overwhelmed. Tears streamed down my cheeks as I traced the delicate lines of her face, the soft swell of her chest, the curve of her hips. I don't know who I am anymore," I whispered, voice cracking. "Michael, he's gone." Emily knelt beside me, placing her hand lightly on my shoulder. "Sure, it's okay," she soothed. "This is necessary. Every tear, every panic, every moment of resistance makes her stronger. Michael must fade, so she can exist fully. This is transformation. And yes, it hurts, but it is beautiful." Her words pierced me like both a dagger and a bomb. Humiliation mingled with a strange pride. I realized with a shock that I was enjoying her presence, this delicate, beautiful, feminine form, even as tears streaked my cheeks. The realization sent a shiver down my spine. Emily held me through the trembling, guiding me to stand. "Now," she said, "we take her outside. Let the world see her. Let her face admiration, whispers, and curiosity. Michael is gone. She is alive. Are you ready?" I hesitated, terror and thrill colliding in my chest. But beneath the fear, a small, forbidden part of me nodded. Her was real, and the world needed to see her. Outside, Even the brief walk to the car brought the full weight of public attention. Every glance, every whisper, every subtle admiration from strangers made my chest tighten, my cheeks flush, and my heart race. Humiliation, pride, shame, and excitement twisted together like a storm inside me. Emily's hand on my back steadied me while reminding me, wordlessly, that I was hers to mold, to shape, to control. By the time we returned home, I was emotionally drained, physically trembling, and mentally overwhelmed. Yet when I stared in the mirror, the tears still glistening on my cheeks, I couldn't deny the truth. She was alive, beautiful, delicate, perfectly feminine. And Michael was fading faster than I could have imagined. It had been 2 weeks since Emily began reshaping me, molding every gesture, every movement, and every thought. By now, the mirror reflected a girl so delicate, so captivating, that Michael seemed like a fading shadow, almost mythical in its absence. That afternoon, Emily suggested a walk to the nearby park. "Fresh air will help you adjust to the world," she said, her voice soft but commanding. "And you may encounter him." My heart sank at the vague warning.
"Him,"
I whispered, voice high and tremulous. Emily's eyes gleamed. "You'll see. He's curious. And attention, admiration, it's part of your discipline." We strolled through the park, sunlight dappling the pathway, wind teasing strands of my hair. My dress flowed softly around my legs, heels clicking gently against the pavement. I was aware of every glance, every whisper, every subtle attention from passers-by. It was terrifying and exhilarating. Then I saw him, a boy around my age, casual, confident, and smiling. He paused, clearly noticing me. My heart raced. I had been seen before, admired, whispered about, but something about his gaze felt different.
direct,
Intentional, observant. "Hi," he said softly, approaching. I couldn't help noticing you're really beautiful." Heat flooded my face, butterflies swarming my stomach. Michael's chest would have tightened nervously, maybe flinched, maybe mumbled an awkward joke. But she, her, smiled softly, voice melodic, trembling yet controlled. Thank you," I whispered, cheeks burning. He smiled, eyes lingering. "I haven't seen you before. Are you new around here?" Emily's hand brushed my back lightly, reassuring yet controlling. "Answer him," she whispered. "Speak as her. Remember every lesson." Yes, I'm new," I managed, voice higher and softer than I expected. My words flowed awkwardly, yet she, the girl in the mirror, felt alive with every syllable. He laughed softly. "Well, I'm glad I met you. You seem different. Special." The word special made my chest tighten, warmth spreading in ways I hadn't experienced before. Embarrassment collided with an unexplainable thrill. Every glance, every compliment, every subtle touch of attention pulled me further from Michael and deeper into her. Emily smiled behind me, her eyes gleaming. "Do you feel it? Every look, every word, she is alive. Michael is fading. And soon, she will be irresistible. Not just beautiful, but unforgettable." We walked together, his presence teasing my emotions. Every laugh, every shared glance, every compliment stirred a dangerous, addictive mix of excitement, fear, and doubt. Part of me wanted to flee, to cling to Michael, but a deeper, forbidden part of me thrilled at being seen, admired, and desired as her. When we finally returned home, my legs shook from walking in heels, my chest ached with emotion, and my reflection in the mirror seemed to gaze back knowingly. The boy's attention had confirmed something I hadn't dared admit. The world saw her. And somewhere inside Michael, was beginning to accept it. Emily's hand rested lightly on my shoulder. "This is only the beginning," she whispered. "You've felt attraction, attention, desire. All these experiences shape her. And soon you won't just feel it. You'll live it." I sank onto the floor afterward, trembling. The mirror reflected her fully now, soft, delicate, beautiful, and alive. Michael's voice was a faint echo, disappearing further with every experience, every lesson, every compliment. And somewhere deep inside, a terrifying, thrilling truth settled. I didn't want him back. She, alive, beautiful, feminine, was more real, more captivating, and more me than Michael had ever been. The following week, Emily decided it was time for me to step into the world fully, without the safe boundaries of small outings or familiar faces. She chose a bustling shopping district, filled with people, bright displays, and reflective windows that amplified every movement. You will walk, speak, and exist as her, Emily instructed, her eyes scanning my reflection in the car mirror. Today, the world sees her. And every look, every whisper, every subtle reaction strengthens her and diminishes him. I swallowed hard, my chest tightening. The past few weeks had conditioned me to obedience, to inhabiting her fully, but the thought of a crowd, of strangers' scrutiny, sent a shiver down my spine. I adjusted my dress, a soft pink, flowing just above the knees, tugged my cardigan lightly over my shoulders, and stepped out in heels that Emily had carefully chosen to accentuate every curve. The moment we entered the district, eyes turned. Whispers trailed behind us, like invisible threads. Some admired openly, others lingered subtly, while a few exchanged glances of curiosity or surprise. Every step was a battle between fear and exhilaration. I could feel Michael's pulse of resistance, faint but stubborn, yet with every compliment, every admiring glance, he faded further into the background. Emily guided me to a boutique first, her hands adjusting my posture, tilting my chin, correcting my gait. Inside, the mirrors reflected a girl so delicate, so captivating, that even I, still grappling with internal conflict, felt a tremor of awe. "See her," Emily whispered. "She is real. Michael is fading. And soon, she will be unforgettable." Outside, the attention escalated. A group of young women whispered among themselves, glancing openly at me. "She's stunning," one murmured. Another nudged her friend, eyes wide with admiration. My heart raced, cheeks flushed. Pride mingled with shame in a way that made my stomach twist. I was humiliated yet thrilled. Every glance, every whispered comment, every lingering stare carved her deeper into my identity and chipped away at Michael's fading presence. A boy from earlier days, recognizing me faintly from school, stopped, eyes wide in disbelief. "Wait, isn't that?" He trailed off, confused. I smiled softly, voice melodic and gentle, masking any recognition. His hesitation, curiosity, and subtle admiration only intensified the strange, addictive thrill. Michael's instincts, awkwardness, pride, resistance, were useless here. She moved with confidence, delicate and captivating, impossible to ignore. Emily walked behind me, hand lightly brushing my back as she guided me through the crowds. Every look, every comment, every whispered admiration, she thrives on it. You will learn to absorb it, to embrace it, to become her fully. And Michael, he will disappear completely. Hours passed like this. Each store, each cafe, each sidewalk and reflection was a new lesson. People stopped to compliment my dress, my hair, my appearance, and each word, each smile, each lingering gaze carved her further into my reality. Michael felt distant, almost a memory, while she, the girl Emily had molded, was alive, vibrant, and undeniably captivating. By the end of the day, my legs ached from heels, my chest was tight with excitement and exhaustion, and my mind was a storm of shame, thrill, pride, and humiliation. When we returned home, Emily gently helped me remove my dress, heels, and makeup. She brushed my hair softly as I sank onto the bed, trembling. "You've done well today," she said softly, eyes gleaming. She is becoming undeniable. Every compliment, every glance, every subtle humiliation, it shapes her. Michael is fading further, and she is rising. I stared into the mirror, exhausted, emotionally raw, and trembling. She, the delicate, beautiful, feminine girl, stared back, alive and thriving. Michael's voice was now a faint echo, distant and powerless. For the first time, I understood Emily's plan completely. The world would see her, adore her, desire her, and Michael would have no choice but to vanish. And a small, forbidden part of me didn't want him back. The following week felt like a whirlwind of attention, correction, and self-discovery. Every mirror reflected her, the delicate, captivating, undeniably feminine girl I had become. Michael's presence was now a faint shadow, drifting in the corners of my mind, unable to assert control or presence. Emily's influence had been absolute. Every glance, every touch, every whispered instruction had carved her deeper into reality. It was during a quiet afternoon at the park, the place where attention had first hinted at her power, that the first real emotional connection happened. The same boy from a few outings ago appeared, his casual smile warming the tension in my chest. "Hey," he said softly, approaching. I've been hoping to see you again." My cheeks flushed instantly. I wasn't used to this level of personal attention, this focused admiration. My heart pounded. Michael's voice, the rational, cautious voice, tried to resist, to tell me to step back, but she, alive and feminine, thrilled at the proximity, at the intensity of his gaze. Emily, standing a little behind, gave a subtle nod. Her eyes gleamed, observing silently. She had orchestrated this moment carefully, knowing the thrill of attention would accelerate the transformation. "Talk to him," she whispered. "Speak as her, move as her. Every word is her. Every step her. Michael is gone." I hesitated, then smiled softly. My voice, soft and melodic, trembled slightly, but carried the grace Emily had drilled into me. "I'm glad you found me," I said. The words sounded alien, yet beautiful to my ears. Every syllable reinforced her presence, and I could feel Michael fading further. We walked slowly through the park, talking about mundane things at first, classes, hobbies, favorite books, but each glance, each shared laugh, was layered with unspoken fascination and admiration. His focus on me, on her, felt intoxicating, overwhelming, and addictive. Every compliment on my hair, my dress, my smile tightened the grip she held over my identity. At one point, he reached out, lightly brushing a strand of hair from my face. My chest tightened, warmth spreading through my body. Emily's hand lightly touched my back, steadying me, guiding the reaction without overt interference. "Feel it," she whispered. "Every touch, every glance, she exists now. Michael doesn't. She is real." I blushed, heart racing, caught between embarrassment, exhilaration, and longing. Every sensation was heightened. The brush of his hand, the warmth of the sun on my skin, the soft sway of my dress. The thrill of being admired, desired even, was intoxicating. I realized with a shock that I enjoyed it. That she enjoyed it. Michael's protests were now mere whispers drowned out by her delight and curiosity. He smiled, eyes lingering on mine. "You're so beautiful," he said softly. My knees weakened slightly, and my pulse spiked. The word echoed in my mind. Beautiful. She, her, was alive, thriving, and undeniable. Emily finally stepped forward, placing her hand lightly on my shoulder. "You see? This is the result of discipline, exposure, and embracing her fully. She is alive. Michael fades further, and soon you will not remember him at all." Later, back in my room, I sank onto the bed, trembling and exhausted. My reflection in the mirror was flawless, delicate, and captivating. The interaction had left me emotionally raw, exhilarated, and profoundly conflicted. She, alive, beautiful, feminine, had felt desire, admiration, and connection in ways Michael never had. Tears pricked my eyes as I whispered to myself, voice soft, melodic, and undeniably hers. I don't know who I am anymore, but I think I like her. I think I like me like this." Emily's voice echoed softly in my memory, a guiding whisper. "She is alive. Michael is gone. She is beauty, she is power, she is real." And I realized terrifyingly and thrillingly, that I didn't want Michael back. Her, was real, and she was captivating. Emily had been patient, guiding me step by step through feminine behaviors, public exposure, and emotional manipulation. But today, she had something else planned. Something that would push her control to the limit and force me to confront my fading identity in front of strangers. "This is your ultimate test," she said, voice low and commanding. "A social gathering. People you know, people you don't know. And you will be fully her, poised, beautiful, controlled. Every glance, every word, every gesture, perfect. Do not falter." My chest tightened. Fear, excitement, and shame swirled together. This was no longer a casual walk or a small encounter. This was a challenge designed to obliterate Michael completely. I swallowed hard, adjusting the soft pastel dress Emily had chosen, feeling the familiar sway of fabric across my hips. My heels clicked sharply as I followed her out of the house, posture perfect, voice soft and melodic. The venue was buzzing, friends, acquaintances, strangers, all mingling. Whispers immediately followed my entrance, and I felt every eye on me. Each glance, each murmur, pushed Michael further into the shadows. Emily guided me through the crowd, her hand lightly brushing my back, correcting my stance, tilting my chin. "You are her. Every step, every glance, she thrives under observation." A group of classmates noticed me first. Their eyes widened, whispers spilling into laughter and admiration. "Is that Michael?" one asked uncertainly. I froze, heart racing. But Emily's gentle squeeze on my shoulder reminded me to maintain poise, to embody her fully. I smiled softly, voice delicate.
"Hi," I said.
Every syllable felt foreign, yet natural. The warmth, the attention, the subtle thrill of being admired made my cheeks burn. Every compliment, every stare, every subtle flirt chipped away at Michael's presence. A boy I vaguely knew approached, attempting casual conversation. My laughter, soft and melodic, drew more attention. Emily whispered corrections as I spoke, adjusting my hands, posture, and gaze. The humiliation of being scrutinized, judged, and whispered about in public twisted with an intoxicating thrill. She, alive, feminine, beautiful, was thriving. Michael, meanwhile, shivered in the background, powerless. Then came the moment of peak humiliation. A small group approached, teasing me lightly, calling me pretty, gorgeous, even unreal. My heart raced, my face burned, and my chest ached with embarrassment. But beneath the shame, a forbidden thrill coursed through me. Each compliment, each laugh, each gaze was molding her further. Michael had no defense here. Emily leaned close, her breath warm against my ear. "Do you feel it? Every word, every glance, she exists. And Michael is gone. Forever." Tears pricked my eyes, a mixture of humiliation, pride, and exhilaration. I realized then that the thrill of being seen, admired, and exposed had become addictive. She was alive, powerful, beautiful, feminine, and Michael's protests were now faint whispers, easily drowned by the vibrant presence I now inhabited. By the end of the evening, my legs ached, my chest was tight with emotion, and my mind reeled from the intensity of attention and scrutiny. Back home, Emily helped me remove my dress and heels, her touch gentle yet authoritative. "You've done well," she said softly. "Every compliment, every gaze, every humiliation has shaped her. She is undeniable now. Michael fades further with each passing moment, and soon you will not remember him at all." I stared into the mirror, exhausted yet exhilarated. The girl staring back was flawless, poised, and alive. Michael's voice was distant, barely a whisper, as she, beautiful, delicate, feminine, dominated my reflection completely. And somewhere deep inside, a terrifying truth settled. I didn't want him back. She was real. She was captivating. And I wanted to be her. It was a quiet afternoon when Emily decided to push the transformation further. "Today," she said, You will face someone from your past. Someone who remembers Michael. Let's see how fully she exists now. My stomach twisted into knots. Fear, shame, and a strange, thrilling anticipation coiled together. I had grown used to the attention of strangers, the soft admiration of boys, and Emily's strict guidance. But someone who remembered Michael? That was a different level of exposure. We walked to a small cafe I used to frequent with classmates. Emily held my hand lightly, guiding my steps, adjusting my posture, tilting my chin to catch the light just so. The soft pink dress swayed with every step, the heels accentuating my delicate stride. I felt exposed, vulnerable, and alive in ways I had never imagined. Then I saw him. Ryan, an old friend from school, someone who had laughed with Michael, teased him, shared secrets. His eyes widened the moment he saw me. Recognition flickered across his face. "Wait, Michael," he whispered, voice trailing off. My chest tightened, cheeks burning. Every instinct screamed to deny, to flee, to retreat into Michael, but she, alive, feminine, captivating, stood tall. Emily's hand pressed lightly on my back, her subtle reminder clear. She is real.
Michael is gone.
I smiled softly, voice delicate and melodic. "No, that's me. Callie," I said. The name Emily had chosen rolling off my tongue naturally. Every syllable reinforced her presence. Every word pushed Michael further into the background. Ryan blinked, confusion and disbelief mixing with admiration. "Callie, wow. You look amazing." Heat rushed to my cheeks. The compliment, layered with shock and awe, sent a thrill through me. Pride mingled with shame. Michael would have panicked, stuttered, avoided eye contact, but she, Callie, smiled, laughed softly, and responded with poise. Emily guided me to sit, subtly whispering corrections as Ryan watched, still processing. Our conversation was light at first, casual, but every glance he stole, every subtle fascination, confirmed her existence. I could feel Michael fading with each passing moment. Then came the hardest part, Ryan's gentle teasing. "I can't believe this, you're so feminine, beautiful. I don't even recognize you." My knees trembled slightly, heart racing, a swirl of embarrassment, pride, and forbidden thrill mixing into a storm inside me. I realized with a shiver that I enjoyed his admiration, the sense of being seen, of being desired as her. Michael's protests were distant echoes, drowned out by the exhilaration of attention and recognition. Emily watched silently, a faint smile playing on her lips. "Do you feel it?" she whispered when no one could hear. Every glance, every word, every gasp of surprise, she exists. Michael is gone. She is alive, captivating, and undeniable. By the time we left the cafe, my mind and body were trembling. The mirror back home confirmed what I already knew. She, delicate, feminine, beautiful, had fully replaced Michael. His voice, his presence, his identity were now whispers in the background, powerless and fading. And yet, a strange, intoxicating thrill remained. I wasn't just Callie in Emily's eyes. I was Callie in the world's eyes. Admired, desired, visible. Michael had vanished, and somewhere deep inside, I realized with a mix of fear and delight, I didn't want him back. Emily's hand rested lightly on my shoulder as we walked back home. "You've passed the test," she whispered. "The world sees her. She exists. And soon, Michael will be nothing but a memory." I nodded, exhausted, overwhelmed, and trembling, staring into the mirror that evening. Callie, alive, beautiful, feminine, stared back at me. Michael's presence was faint, almost mythical. And somewhere deep inside, a thrilling, terrifying truth settled. I wanted to be her. Fully, irrevocably, and without hesitation. By now, Callie's presence had become undeniable, not just to herself, but to the world around her. Each mirror reflected her delicate, feminine form. Each glance from a stranger, each whisper of admiration, confirmed that Michael's identity was now a distant, fading memory. Emily had planned the ultimate public exposure, A weekend outing to a popular city festival filled with crowds, music, and curious eyes. "This is where she thrives," Emily said, her voice soft yet commanding. Every look, every smile, every touch reinforces her. Michael is gone. Callie is real. My chest tightened as we approached the festival, heels clicking against the pavement, dress flowing softly around my legs. Every glance, every whisper, every camera flash tugged at my chest. Pride mixed with humiliation, excitement mingled with fear. The world was watching, and she, Callie, was fully alive. Crowds turned, some whispering, some openly staring. Compliments flowed. "She's gorgeous, incredible, so pretty." Each word sent shivers through me. Michael's protests were faint echoes, powerless against the intoxicating thrill of attention. Emily guided my posture, adjusted my hair, corrected my gait, her subtle control refining every movement, ensuring that Callie was perfect in every detail. A young man approached, eyes wide with admiration. "Wow, you're amazing. I've never seen anyone like you." Heat flooded my cheeks. The thrill of being seen, admired, and desired overwhelmed every other feeling. Michael's voice was silent, a distant shadow. Callie moved with confidence, grace, and undeniable beauty, responding with soft laughter, gentle words, and captivating glances. Emily watched silently, her hand resting lightly on my back. "Feel it," she whispered. "Every look, every compliment, every subtle desire reinforces her. She is alive." Michael fades further. I felt the reality settle deep inside me. She, Callie, was real. Every step, every glance, every whispered admiration strengthened her presence. Michael was gone, fading into irrelevance, leaving only me, delicate, feminine, and undeniably captivating. By the end of the festival, I was emotionally raw, physically exhausted, but profoundly aware of a new truth. I was no longer Michael. Callie was fully alive, thriving under observation, admiration, and desire. The mirror back home confirmed it. Her delicate features, her graceful posture, her vibrant, feminine energy, all reflected back, flawless and undeniable. Emily smiled, brushing my hair gently. "She exists," she said softly. "The world sees her. You've accepted her fully. Michael is gone, and you are hers now." I sank onto the bed, trembling, a mixture of exhaustion, thrill, and pride coursing through me. For the first time, I realized with terrifying clarity, I didn't want to return. She, Callie, was real, beautiful, and alive. Michael was gone, and I wanted her to remain. By now, Callie's existence was no longer just a performance. It was a reality fully intertwined with the world around her. Michael's presence had faded into faint echoes, whispers of memory that tugged at the edges of her consciousness. Emily had orchestrated everything with precision: mirrors, public exposure, attention, and subtle control. And today, she intended to push the final piece, the breaking point. "Today," Emily said softly, her eyes gleaming, "you will confront yourself fully. The world has admired her, boys have desired her, strangers have whispered about her beauty. But now she will confront the truth of who she is. And Michael will vanish completely." I swallowed hard, my chest tight with anticipation and dread. We stepped into a local cafe where a small crowd had gathered, a few acquaintances, a few curious strangers, and Ryan, the boy who had first recognized me. Every glance, every whispered word, intensified the storm inside me. My dress swayed delicately with each step, heels clicking confidently, posture impeccable, yet trembling underneath. "Look at her," someone whispered, barely audible. "She's incredible." Michael's instincts tried to resist, to shrink, to reclaim some fragment of identity, but she, Callie, thrived. Every compliment, every gaze, every subtle fascination from the crowd reinforced her, eroded him, and solidified her presence. Emily's hand rested lightly on my back, guiding me without overt interference, letting the world do the work of transformation. Ryan approached, eyes wide with admiration and something deeper. Curiosity, desire, fascination. "Callie, you're amazing," he said softly. The words sent shivers down my spine, warmth flooding my chest. Michael's voice tried to protest, but it was too faint, too distant. Emily whispered softly. "Every look, every word, every desire directed at her solidifies her. Michael is gone. She exists fully. And you will accept it." I looked into the mirror at the cafe, the reflective surface capturing her fully, the delicate curves, the vibrant feminine energy, the confident poise. Michael's shadow lingered only faintly in the corner of my mind, powerless and fading. My reflection stared back, beautiful, alive, undeniable. And for the first time, I felt a thrill of liberation. A subtle brush of Ryan's hand, a compliment, a lingering glance, all compounded into a dizzying cocktail of emotion, pride, excitement, embarrassment, and desire. Every nerve, every heartbeat, screamed with exhilaration. Michael's protests had no power here. She, Callie, was fully alive, fully thriving. Tears pricked my eyes as I whispered softly, voice melodic and delicate. "I am her. I'm Callie." Emily's hand brushed my hair, eyes shining with satisfaction.
Yes.
"She exists. She is real. Michael is gone. And you accept her fully." The realization hit me like a tidal wave. The fear, the shame, the doubt, they were gone. What remained was exhilaration, pride, and an intoxicating sense of self. I had become her completely, irrevocably. Michael was a memory, fading into irrelevance. She, Callie, was alive, beautiful, feminine, and fully integrated into the world. The cafe faded around me, every sound and glance amplifying her presence. For the first time, I wasn't torn, hesitant, or uncertain. I was Callie, alive, desired, beautiful, and for the first time, I didn't want to be anything else. Emily smiled softly, whispering, "You've passed the final test. She exists. Michael is gone. And you are hers, fully and completely." I stared at my reflection one last time that evening, chest tight, heart racing, tears flowing. Callie, alive, feminine, beautiful, stared back at me. Michael's identity was gone, replaced entirely by her vibrant, undeniable presence. And deep inside, I realized with thrilling clarity, I didn't want him back. She was real. She was captivating. She was mine. The days following the breaking point were surreal. Every mirror, every reflection, every glance in public reinforced a truth I could no longer deny. I was Callie. Michael, once so insistent, so stubborn, now existed only as a faint, distant memory, an echo that no longer influenced my thoughts or actions. She, delicate, feminine, captivating, was fully alive. Emily had been with me every step, her guidance gentle yet commanding, ensuring that I embraced every aspect of this new life. "You've accepted her," she said softly one morning, brushing my hair. "Every glance, every word, every emotion, she exists fully now. And the world will see her exactly as she is." I nodded, a strange mix of relief, pride, and exhilaration surging through me. There was no hesitation, no doubt. Only her. I dressed carefully, selecting a soft floral dress that emphasized the curves Emily had meticulously taught me to accentuate. Every step to the mirror, every tilt of my chin, every sweep of my hair was deliberate, confident. Callie's reflection smiled back, beautiful, delicate, alive. The world had come to recognize her fully. Friends, strangers, classmates, even boys who once admired Michael now looked at me with fascination and subtle desire. Ryan, the boy who had first acknowledged me as Callie, had become a quiet anchor, a reminder that admiration and connection could exist without fear or shame. Each smile, each compliment, each soft glance reinforced the reality. She was real, vibrant, and undeniable. Emily watched from the background, satisfaction glinting in her eyes. "You see," she whispered, "every step, Every interaction, every reflection, she exists. Michael is gone. She is alive, beautiful, and captivating. Even in private moments, the thrill of her identity surged through me. Mirror scenes, once fraught with shame and conflict, now became celebrations. I applied makeup with delicate precision, chose dresses that highlighted my feminine curves, and practiced the soft, melodic voice Emily had helped me cultivate. Each day reinforced the same truth. Callie was no longer an experiment, a role, or a temporary state. She was real, fully embodied, and utterly captivating. There were moments of reflection, of faint nostalgia for Michael, but they were fleeting. They lacked power, unable to compete with the intoxicating thrill of being seen, admired, desired, and beautiful. I realized, terrifyingly and exhilaratingly, that I didn't want him back. I didn't want to return to the boy I had once been. Life continued, vibrant and full. Emily guided me in social settings, public appearances, and personal growth, but now she allowed space for independence. Callie walked with poise, spoke with confidence, and existed fully in her feminine identity. The transformation was no longer imposed. It was embraced, celebrated, and thriving. One evening, as I looked into the mirror, softly brushing my hair, I whispered to myself, voice delicate and melodic, "I am Callie. She is me. I am beautiful. I am alive." Emily's voice echoed softly from the doorway. "Yes, she exists. You've accepted her fully. The world sees her, and so do you. Michael is gone, and she is yours to live." A wave of calm, exhilaration, and pride washed over me. For the first time, there was no conflict, no shame, no doubt. She was real. She was captivating. She was me, and I had chosen her. From that day forward, Callie walked into the world with confidence, grace, and undeniable beauty. The whispers, glances, and admiration followed her wherever she went, not as a cruel test, but as affirmation. Michael was gone, and in his place stood a young woman alive, vibrant, and fully herself. The story ended not with regret, but with acceptance, empowerment, and the thrilling knowledge that she, Callie, was unstoppable, undeniable, and completely real.